Oh, hello, sound check, hello. Hello, sound check, hello. Good evening. Hello, sound check, hello. Hello, sound check, hello. Hello, sound check. Can everybody hear me? This is a test. This is a test. This is a test. 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 Sound check, hello. Hello, sound check, hello. Can you guys hear me? Pachat naman, pagalaw naman ng baso sa chat box. If you can hear me. Hello, sound check, hello. Hello, sound check, hello. Ayan, good evening, Sebastian. Michaels ang iyong pangalan, bro. Michael. Good evening, John Kevin Divina Gracia. Paul Lawrence Tamayo, good evening. Good evening, kapatid. Thank you so much for joining me for tonight's quick and dirty stream. I'm not running at my 100%. I think that's fictional name pala ito. Okay, how can I address you, bro? Yes, welcome to tonight's quick and dirty stream. I'm not at my 100%. I got my second dose yesterday. Super sama ng pakiramdam. I mean, with all honesty, kung ganito pala ang second dose, kung na-inform lang ako ng maayos, I wouldn't have said yes to this. Sige. Alright. For everyone joining us for tonight's stream, hello Shine, bro, good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. Sound check. Garcia. Yes. Okay, Garcia. You are a girl. Okay, sige. For our activity tonight, I'm going to show you a detailed guide on how to digest Consti cases. Mabigat ang Consti. Hindi dahil siya ay technical. Hello, LJ. Hindi technical ang constitutional law. I will always maintain walang particular na technical na bagay sa loob ng constitutional law. Sadyang matrabaho lang siya. Okay, that being said, I would like to draw your attention to... Ay, why is it clipping? Hello. Hello, sound check, hello. Hello, sound check, hello. Ayan, much better, di ba? Okay, I would like to draw your attention to the description box. Please open it. Tapos, open natin yung first link. Hello, April. Thank you for joining tonight's stream. Open natin yung first link. Download natin yung first file. Hello, Menard, bro. Download natin yung first file. Tapos, and also yung second file. First and second file. Please open. Please open the first and second files. First and second files. First and second files. Tapos pag na-download na, please let me know by typing downloaded. Sige. Good evening, Menard. Hello, Alvin. Hi, Nelson. Magandang gabi rin, Jasiba, Ameril. Jennifer, good evening. Hello. Second time mong mag-attend. Actually, this isn't a class. This is a live stream, kapatid. I'm going to walk you through what you need to do. Sige, good evening din, Louis. Downloaded. Parehas ba tayo ng tinitignan? Yes, no, maybe. Good evening, Rolly. Hello, Anna. Downloaded. Watching. Menard, thank you, bro. Sige lang. What we need to do tonight, what do you need to do is open the description box. Tapos, download yung link number 1 and link number 2. Link number 1 and link number 2. Buksan natin yung file na ang pangalan ay handouts. Hello Audrey, welcome to tonight's stream. Salamat at nakahabol ka. Oh, shout out daw sa asawa ni Wilson. Good luck. Mrs. Wilson, galingan mo sa exam mo bukas. Sige. First two files. Parehas ba tayo ng tinitignan? Ang pangalan ng file ay handouts. Pag na-download na, pakitype lang downloaded. Pag meron na nung handouts. Ang handouts na ito kapatid, pakitype lang downloaded pag meron na kayo ng copy. Hello life lesson. Anong yung pangalan kapatid? So I can address you / call you for recitation. All right, it appears downloaded na. Yes, no. Ang handouts na ito kapatid, ang inyong tinitignan, ay actually pointers na isinulat ko para sa paggawa ng digest. Ito yung output namin from last Tuesday kung saan nag-discuss ako ng very detailed guide. Umabot ng 4 na oras yun. Very detailed guide on how to write a case digest. Tapos lahat ng naka-italicize, lahat ng highlighted na text, yellow, ay yung kung ano ang nakasulat sa digest. Tapos yung italicized, eto notes ko. Sige, Neymart. All right. Hello Jane, yan. Sige, let's go over the pointers dito. Simple, pagdating sa title, kung walang prescribed na format kung saan isusulat pa ang buong citation, just a simple restatement of the title, it's enough. Sige. Tapos, mababasa nyo naman, the first paragraph should contain the facts of the case. General rule. Sulat nyo lang sa first paragraph who filed the case, against whom was the case filed, why was the case filed, and what was the basis for its filing. Sige, pagdating naman sa criminal law cases, hindi na natin kailangan isulat kung sino ang nag-file. Kasi it's always the state, it's always the prosecution. Ang kailangan na mas makita natin dito kung ano yung crime na charged. Tapos yung injury suffered or the cause of death. Tas 300 words ang max natin pagdating sa pagdating sa 300 words ang maximum natin pagdating sa facts. Kasi isusulat pa natin to ng kamay. Mabilisan lang. Ayan. Note lang natin ha. Tapos, second paragraph, moving on to page 2 ng ating page 2 ng ating handouts. Yan. Very important pagdating sa digests, kapatid, na mayroon kang second paragraph that states the defenses. Ano ang defense niya? In this Tapos, pagdating sa criminal law cases, laging merong version of the prosecution, version of the defense. So, isa-summarize mo ngayon dito ang version ng defense. Kung pareho lang ang version ng prosecution at defense, and it happens from time to time, konti lang ang difference. Katulad ng sa People versus Henosa, sinulat ko dito, in her defense, Marivic Henosa admitted that she killed her husband with a gun. She interposed the defense of battered woman syndrome and the defense of her unborn child. Next paragraph, simplihan lang natin. Ruling of the lower court. Kung maisusulat nyo rin kung nasaan yung trial court, it would be useful. Kasi it gives the impression that you read the full case. Sa mga digest na madadownload nyo sa talahiban, o sa internet, ayan. Nilalaktawan yung mga ganyang parts. Sige. Tapos, ang bungad ng ruling paragraph ay ito. The Supreme Court speaking through insert ponensya teaches us that. Yan, it's a low-key way of adding the name of the ponensya or the writer of the opinion. Kung sakaling maitanong sa recitation. Kung hindi naman din itatanong, at least it drives home the point that you've read the full text. You are prepared to recite. Sige. Tapos, ito. Feel free to cut and paste sections of the ruling. They must be written in a sequential order. Our own words, why we should not paraphrase, ha? The rulings of the Supreme Court should be copied verbatim. Our own words can never be an adequate substitute for the exact words of the Supreme Court. Their decisions are part of the law of the land. We are, as of this moment, mere learners of the law. Yan. Anyone here who was part of the stream last Tuesday? Yes, no? Sino mga nandito noong Tuesday? At narito noong diniscuss namin ang People versus Henosa? Can you type yes kung nandito ka? Hello, Audrey. Hello, Eunice. Grabe, namiss kita, kapatid. Buti at nandito ka. Kamusta ang pagpapalabas ng abs? Who else was here? Si Audrey lang? So, lahat tayo new faces na? Yes, no? Okay, Vincent Luis Luxin. Para alam ko kung babalikan ko to o we move on to tonight's topic. Hello, Miss Acosta. Good evening. Please download the first 2 links. Yan ang topics for discussion natin tonight. Ay, na-miss mo ba to? Itong discussion sa People versus Henosa. Guts Dragon Slayer, anong pang kapatid ang iyong pangalan? Hala, okay. Sige. Last Tuesday, diniscuss ko lang kung paano magsulat ng digest in general. Pero mas diniscuss ko siya within the framework of criminal law cases, kung saan may nuance din. Shoutout pa rin ba? Pa-shoutout pa rin. Makasa, Jomar. Sige, Miss Acosta. Heto ang digest. Yan. Bakit ko siya sinulat ng ganito? Kasi when you're called to recite, you listen to yourself closely. Kung babasahin nyo yung digest as is where is, kung tinanong ka, can you give us the case of People versus Henosa? At ganito mo siyang narrate. Typo to. 1 dapat to. How do I edit this to start from number 1? O gawin na lang natin siyang letters. Hala, basta sundan nyo na lang yan. 1, 2, 3 lang din yan. Sige. Si Guts, ano ang pangalan mo, bro? Watch the replay. Thank you, thank you. Okay, this is how you should digest your cases. Not should, pero this is my recommended method. Kapag tinanong ka ng People versus Hinosa, kunwari si Mr. Serdan. Serdan, can you give us the case? Restart numbering. Yan. Thank you, Mr. Serdan. Very useful. Tanda ko na sa Word. Hindi ko alam gawin yon. Kung ako, ima-manual kong itatype yun eh. Pero thank you. At ninarate ni Mr. Serdan ng ganito. As is where is. Nasagot niya ang mga tanong na who is a battered woman? Yan. What are the 3 phases of the cycle of violence? Pag in-enumerate niya, susulutan na niya ng konting explanation. O how did the Supreme Court rule on the case? Ito na, first, second, third. Ayan. At least 2 acts. 2 cycles, 2 rounds ang hinihingi ng Supreme Court pagdating natin sa ano. Ay, maraming salamat, Miss Acosta. Si Miss Acosta ay part ng Mac online class. Batch 4. Batch 4. Sabi niya, thank you sa LXM Mac class. Nakapag-recite ako kanina sa Crimlo. Sakto yung topic, heart. Sige. For those of you who are interested in joining the Mac online class, plug ko na rin. See, I still have, I think, 2 more slots. 2 more slots plus buffer. Those of you who are interested in joining the Mac online class, I'll be placing a link sa chat box. Register lang, 2 slots remaining. At nilalagyan ko to ng buffer kasi for whatever reason, people pay to come to the Mac class but do not attend. Lalo na pag nakita na yung assignment. Tululaway na pagdating sa assignment. Wala. Sige. Okay, that's how you write your digest. Yan yung recommended format ko. Mabilisan lang. Anyone here who was able to join yung live stream kung saan diniscuss si Paula Manzares? Please type yes. Yes or no sa comments. Paula Manzares. Hindi siya 800, ay oo, 868 pages ang full case. Yes, we discussed. Now, I would like to draw your attention to this. Doon sa isang file na pina-download ko. Wait ha. Cannot feel half of my body, which is sad. Yan, ito. May pangalawa, 912 pages pala. It's 300,500 words total. Sige. Can you please open your handouts para sa case ni Paula Manzares? The one with highlights. Yung highlights na yan, highlights lang din galing sa ano. Excuse me. Highlights lang din from the time we discussed. Open na. Kung nabuksan nyo na, please type open so we can discuss tonight's case. Please type open pag nabuksan na. Hello, Kirsty Nicole. I think you're new sa ating live stream. Hello, Audrey. Thank you. First to open. Napakabibong bata. Open na. Open. Sige. Alright. Si Paula Manzares, itong kaso na to ay hypothetically ina-assign sa inyong klase ngayon bilang as part of citizenship. Tapos, you're also tasked to digest it. Ano ang first step pag nagbabasa tayo ng kaso? Salamat, M. Matututo ka sana. Okay, how do I read cases kapag soft copy? Ang recommended app ko ay Batas app. Batas app. It's from batas.org. Download nyo lang, libre siya. Yung mga files na nakikita nyo dito, they're from the Batas app. Offline siya. Tapos ito opens the files as Word. Word files ang bukas niya. I hope you find it. Wala lang akong link nila. Pero hanapin nyo na lang. Hello, Rain. Glad that you're here. Please download the first 2 files sa description box. Ito ang topic natin. Dito na tayo sa Paula Manzares. Sige. What's the first step when we read cases? Come on, guys. Pangilang stream na natin ite. I think you know the first step. Tatawag na ba ako? Moonshine, Mr. Villa Carlos, where are you? Are you here? Ang Batas app ay tumatakbo sa Mac OS or Microsoft Word. Villa Carlos! Anong skim? Skim milk? Read the full text. Hindi pwedeng full text ang first step natin, kapatid. Sayang oras natin kung babasahin natin tong 912 pages sa PDF nyo. Kung sa browser nagbubukas ang yung Batas app, tapos nasa Windows ka, ang kailangan mong gawin is to change the default app. Mahirap siyang ikwento ngayon eh. Nasa Mac ako. Pero pag lumipat ako sa Windows mamaya, you can do right-click tapos ang default na pambukas ng .html files, ilipat mo ng Word. Ganon din sa Mac. Ang default na pang-open nyo should not be Safari, should not be Chrome, or any other web browser. Ang gawin yung default open niya ay, gawin yung default app niya ay Microsoft Word. Tapos nasa Word na kayo. Check the overview. Hindi. Step 1. Ito na, sumagot na si Moonshine. Sige. Check the syllabus. Correct. Correct. When you get a case, for example, ito, we have this case of Paula Manzares. Now, we check the syllabus. Saan siya inassign? Hypothetically, inassign siya sa atin under citizenship. Check the syllabus. Correct. 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 Yan. After we refer to our syllabus, ano next step? Next step is to, that's the next step. We read the folio or the ruling. We read the dispositive portion. We find out how the Supreme Court ended the case. Saan page number siya matatagpuan? Para minus na tayo ng pagsuscroll. Anyone? Anyone? Saang dispositive portion siya? Sagot. Yung mga mabilis ang daliri dyan. Ako, Osta. Anong page to? 27? 37? Give me a page number. Hindi ito replay, kapatid. Nire-recap lang natin yung steps ng pagbabasa ng kaso for the benefit of those who are new to the stream. 400 plus, hindi. Ano ba? Pinaglululoko nyo ko eh. Ako pa naghahanap. Ha? Hindi pwedeng ang ambag mo dito sa live stream. Ay, mga thank you sir at the end of the stream. Basa tayo. Yan. We can find the dispositive portion sa Page 43. 43. 43 sa ano? Sa Word. Hindi ko alam sa PDF nyo anong page number. Correct, Audrey. Yan. Wait, nalilito ako. Si MZR Office, kapatid ikaw ba si Miguel? What's your real name so I can address you properly? Page 531, hindi. Lumampas ka. 42, 43. Yan lang, yan naka-highlight. We are hereby annulled and set aside. Control F, search citizenship. Masyadong maraming beses sinabi ang citizenship dito. Pwede nyo pa sigurong i-search. So ordered. Hello, Mark Moore. Hello, bro. Glad that you're here. Salamat. Salamat. Mark Moore here is a good friend of mine. Siya ay kasama ko siya sa Next Up Batch 2019. He makes content on biking. Biking. Sorry bro, ang extent kasi ng biking experience ko ay yung mga maliliit na Mountain Dew commercials when I was way younger. Tapos, dahil ako ang bunso sa aming mga pagpipinsan, they made me wear a helmet that is oddly shaped like the glans. Anyone interested in biking and biking-related content, please check out Mark Moore's channel. Yan. Ay, si Kat. Okay, Kat. Thank you. Kat, kapag sinabi ng Supreme Court na ang resolution ng COMELEC dito, it resolves to grant the petition to cancel the certificate of candidacy of Mary Grace Natividad Sonora Paula Manzares. Mouthful. Parang hirap magsulat nito kung ikaw si Senator Grace po. Parang get 1/4 sheet of paper, write your name. Parang logi ka, no? Kawag sa mga surprise quiz. Pangalan ka pa lang. Nasa number 3 na yung mga kaklase mo. Kapag sinabi ng decision na ginagrant ang petition to cancel, the COC, can Senator Grace po run? Yes, no, maybe. Sagot, Kat. Oh bro, Mark Moore, meron ka ba lang fans dito? Kat, ano na? Pag sinabing na-cancel yung COC, pwede ba siyang tumakbo? Yes, no, maybe. Yes, no, maybe. You're all giving me different answers. Tayin natin ang sagot ni Kat na natataranta. Alin sa yes, no, maybe. Take down fear. Bro, ano ang pangalan mo? Ikaw si Miguel? I feel I have to write your names down somewhere para di na ako nalilito sa mga suki ng stream. Sana, Kat? Yes, pwede daw siyang tumakbo. Pwede daw tumakbo pag nag-grant yung petition to cancel. No. The engineers. Bro, anong pangalan mo ulit? Sorry senior moment. Ikaw ba si Miguel? Sa mga may handles dyan, pakisulat yung mga pangalan nyo. So I can address you like human beings. No. Oh. Kat has changed her answer. No na daw. Sige. Yes, Kat. Kat, ayan. Ang decision ng COMELEC ay to cancel the petition of the COC. Therefore, Senator Grace po cannot run as president. Okay? Ngayon, yun yung decision ng COMELEC. What if ang decision ng Supreme Court naman are hereby annulled and set aside? Ano ibig sabihin nito? What's the practical effect? No sa COMELEC, tapos sinasabi ng Supreme Court na yung decision ng COMELEC is hereby set aside and annulled. Anong practical effect? Can Senator Grace po now run? Yes, no, maybe. Yes, no, maybe. Can she run? Si Kat pa rin. Naku, Kat. Yes, no, maybe. Can she run? Of course she can run. Napanood natin siya sa mga debate. Yes, yun. Napanood natin siya. Thank you, Miss Angeles, for being here. Nag-log out na daw si Kat. Kat has left the group. Qualified to run. Okay. Yan. First step, alamin sa syllabus kung saan naka-assign yung case. Step 2, tignan yung ending. Pag alam natin yung ending, we are now reading with an intention. Mahaba yung stream nung nakaraan kasi I walked you through the precise steps ng case. We're not going to read the case anymore in its entirety. Hindi ko na kayo tatanungin kung relevant, not relevant. Ang tatanong ko ngayon kung ang isang item as it pertains to citizenship should be included in the digest or excluded in the digest. Sige, please get a piece of paper, pwedeng notebook, pwedeng another page ng Word. Tapos get your favorite writing implement. Tapos magda-digest na tayo. Ay nako, hindi ako nagpaparecite. This is a safe space, kapatid. Sorry Kat, if you feel na hot seat ka. Sorry, kasi mahirap i-discuss ang ganitong materials nang walang kausap. Kahit na sa chat ko na lang din kayo nababasa. Ay malaking tulong sa akin na may kausap ako. Nakikinig kayo. Sige na, kuha na ng 1/4, hindi 1/4. At least 2 pages ng yellow legal pad. Magda-digest tayo. If you're new to law school o wala ka pa sa law school, welcome at ito ang kauna-unahang digest na maisusulat mo. If matanda ka na sa law school, pinuhin natin ang iyong writing skills. Mas matakot kayo sa sa mock class. Sa mock class, hindi ako nice. I'm not nice during the mock classes. To simulate how harsh it is to be in law school. Sige. Sige, 1/4 ay pag meron ng papel at panulat, type ready. Type ready. Kapag meron na kayong panulat, type ready sa ating chat box so we can begin digesting. Gaano katagal ang mock class? Usually, nagsa-start kami ng 1:00. On paper, sinasabi ko 4:00. Kapag maayos yung klase, lahat nakakasagot, 4:00 tapos na. Pero, kung wala, GG sila, umabot kami 5:00. Sige, ready na ba? Thank you. Now, nabanggit ko kanina kung paano tayo nagsusulat ng digest. If you missed it, download nyo na lang yung handouts. Ang title ay People versus Henosa Digest. Tapos may comments siya. Let me show it on screen. Download nyo to. Maganda siyang pagpraktisan. Nope. Saan na yun? Sorry Senior moment. Ito ba siya? Yes, ito. May pointers. Sa first paragraph ng bawat digest, you should be able to answer who filed the case, against whom was the case filed, why was the case filed, what was the basis for its filing. General rule yan. Exceptions, criminal law, na nabanggit ko na, you have to discuss yung crime na charge, tapos kung paano namatay, extent of the injuries, murder weapon if applicable. Sige. Tapos, condition ng body. Yan. You have 300 words, roughly, to state the facts in every case. Pagdating naman sa, as I've mentioned in the stream ng Paula Manzares, pagdating sa constitutional law cases, they're very nuanced in the sense na you have to focus on the arguments. Usually walang matinong facts na nangyayari dito eh. Kailangan lang meron tayong arguments. Kasi ang handouts nyo kapatid ay PDF. PDF format na yan. Paano makasali sa mock class? Register through the link in the description box. Oy, Teddy. Maraming salamat, Teddy, ang ating beta tester ng handouts na nagsabing malinaw daw ang handouts. Pag nalito kayo sa handouts, sisihin nyo si Mr. Agravante ha. Kasi sabi niya malinaw daw. Kasalanan niya kung naguguluhan pa kayo. Pag may tanong kayo sa kanya na. Ay, sayang. Paano ba? Sa handouts, ito na yung nuances. Balik na tayo kay Paula Manzares. Paula Manzares. Now, we're gonna read this within the context ng we're going to read this within the context ng citizenship. We also know na talo ang COMELEC. Tapos, ang limitation natin is 300 words for the facts. If you're ready with your paper and your pen, let's start writing the digest. Sige. Bungad natin dito ay, wait for it. Yan, Paula Manzares. Sa facts, petitioner, very long name, was found as a newborn infant in the parish church of Haro, Iloilo by a certain Edgardo Militar. Yan, na-discuss natin last week. Bakit kaya siya pinamigay? Sa mag-asawa, Emiliano and his wife. What do you think? Iba ang nakapulot pero iba ang nag-alaga. Why? Why? Bakit iba ang nag-alaga? For those of you who were present during the first live stream, bakit iba ang nag-alaga? Bakit ang nakapulot ay si Edgardo Militar pero ang nag-alaga ay si Emiliano at ang kanyang asawa? Hindi po siya readyng maging father. Wow! Nalimutan na niya. Isang biyernes pa lang ang nakakaraan. Not capable to sustain. Financial difficulty? Pwede. Not capable of supporting the child. Good answer, Kat. Very good. Very good. Financial incapacitated. Wala naman sinabi sa facts na siya ay mahirap. Pwedeng sinabi na Supreme Court, he was found by a certain man, sinabi, a certain Edgardo Militar. Hindi sinabing by a certain poor man named Edgardo Militar. Wala naman sinabing mahirap siya. Saan natin nakuha yung mahirap siya? Malay natin si Edgardo ay secret millionaire. Oh, Mr. Galvez, I know you were present back then. Why? Bakit napunta dun sa kapatid? Paul Lawrence Tamayo says, naghahanap sila ng ma-adapt. Hello, Net. Download mo yung first 2 files ng ating description box. Ito ang tinag-uusapan tonight. Ability to support the child? Pwede. Pwede. How about this? Si Edgardo ay walang asawa. Si Emiliano may asawa. Because he is still single. Pwede. Hindi natin masasabi ang mga ganyan. Hindi natin masasagot. Pero it's nice to think lang. Yan. Dahil dyan, si Emiliano and his wife had the petitioner registered as a foundling sa Office of the Civil Registrar sa Iloilo. Yan, ang buong pangalan niya. Then when she was 5 years old, celebrity spouses Ronald Alan Kelly Poe, aka Fernando Poe Jr., and Jesusa Sonora Poe, aka Susan Roses, filed a petition for her adoption in the MTC of San Juan City. That was in 74. Sige. Yan yung facts, ha? Tapos, ito pa. She married Teddy Teodoro Misael Daniel Vivla Manzares, who was a dual citizen of the Philippines and the US in 91. Then they moved to the States. The rest of the facts here may seem important, but they're not. They are not relevant pagdating sa citizenship. Ito, next na kinulayan natin. Yung umuwi sila, bumili sila ng condo unit with parking slot at 1 Wilson Place condominium noong 05. Yan. Sige, next na sinulat natin. In 06, bumili sila ng 509 square meter na lote sa Corinthian Hills, Quezon City, where they built their family home. Anyone here familiar with the place? Corinthian Hills. Yes, no, maybe. Yes, no, maybe. Familiar sa Corinthian Hills. Yes, no, maybe. Pwede. Malapit-lapit na dyan, Marcy. Yes. Is it an expensive neighborhood? O saktuhan lang para sa mga slap soil? Yes, no, maybe. Pang slap soil lang. Sige. O, eto. Auto allegiance niya. And then the BI had her declared. Tapos na-appoint siya ng MTRCB. Yan ang mga facts na related sa kanyang citizenship. Now, let's take our piece of paper. Tapos buksan ang file na Paula Manzares versus Comelec. If you have 300 words to spend on the digest. Mula sa facts, ha? Alin sa mga facts na ito ang isusulat natin? Sige. Alin sa mga facts na binanggit ko ang isusulat natin as our first paragraph? First paragraph. Sige. I'm gonna give you time to write your first sentence. First sentence sa inyong digest. Tas I will also write my own digest. Yes, it matters, kapatid. Kasi umabot sa Supreme Court eh. Kung hindi siya material, hindi siya relevant. Hindi siya magiging part ng jurisprudence. Hindi magsusulat ng 912 pages ang Supreme Court kung immaterial ito. Sige, I'm gonna give you a few moments to write your first sentence. Magtipid tayo. Give me something that summarizes yung mga nabanggit kong facts in a way that's sufficient and relevant pagdating sa ating digest. Sige, write your first paragraph sa inyong mga peers. Sino ang tignan natin? Sino ang nakapagsulat ng maayos na facts? Sige. Sige. Anyone ready with their digest? Parang sino gustong mag-share ng kanilang first paragraph? Sino gustong mag-share? Miss Acosta, Miss Domingo, what did you write sa first sentence nyo? Anyone? Anyone who would like to share? Anong sinulat nyo sa first paragraph? Huwag nyong iintindihin yung sinulat ko. It could be wrong. Any volunteers? Volunteers. Kapag sa facts, you are given liberty to write the facts. Hindi kailangan na mag-copy and paste tayo ng ruling ng Supreme Court. Why? Kasi minsan ang statement nila ng facts mahaba, marami. Magsusulat tayo ngayon ng facts na sapat para ma-convince ang professor na nagbasa tayo ng full text. Pero at the same time, hindi ganon kahaba para madaling sulatin. Kailangan natin maiksi ang mga digest. Sige. Volunteers. Volunteers. Anyone who would like to share? Ay, sige. Bawi daw maya-maya. Si Miss Domingo. Ano ang question? Kung ano ang sinulat nyo sa first paragraph ng inyong mga digest. Diba? Ayan. Ayan. Sige, Rain. May kadugtong ba yan? Tira mo. Sige. Sige, may kadugtong pa ba yan, Rain? No, tapos na. Ikadugtong ba yan? Rain. Come on kapatid, you're on the right track. Tama ka na. Is what I'm trying to say. Okay. 3 sentences from Rain. Meron ka pa? O shoot na yan? Sige, you're doing good kapatid. You're doing good. Kung yan ang sinulat mo sa facts, tas ni-recite mo siya, I would feel confident na to a certain extent ikaw ay nagbasa ng full text. Kumbaga, 10% confident na ako na nag-full text ka at hindi kung kaninong digest somewhere in the internet. Oh, pwede. May kasunod pa ba yan, kapatid? Kasunod pa ba yan? I think you're also on the right track. Okay, what convinces me na nagbasa ng full text si Rain? Here. Ay, hala, hinighlight ko yung ano niya. Kasi nabanggit niya yung MTC ng San Juan. Kung sa mga talahib na digest, hindi na yan, lalaktawan na yan. Sige, I'm gonna move forward with tonight's discussion. Balik natin sa facts. Sa facts. As I've mentioned in a previous stream, pagdating sa constitutional law cases, argument-based tayo. The focus should always be on arguments. In here we have 2 petitions. Two petitions here. Kung binasa nyo na yung case, you will find that there were 2 petitions filed against Senator Grace po. Pagdating kasi sa constitutional law cases, there are usually a number of petitions tapos pinagsasama ng Supreme Court. They opt to hear and decide the case after its consolidation. The purpose is para makatipid sila ng laway, isahang discussion na lang. First petition ay yung galing kay Estrella El Amparo. She filed a petition to deny due course or cancel the COC. Sinasabi ni El Amparo's contention is that petitioner committed material misrepresentation when she stated in her COC that she's a natural-born citizen. Ito argument niya. Yan. Ito ang argument niya. Senator Grace po cannot be considered a natural-born Filipino on account that she was a foundling. Under international law, sabi ni El Amparo. I'm now on page 6 ng handouts. Hello, Mr. Canoso. Page 6. Page 6 nung highlighted digest. International law does not confer natural-born status and Filipino citizenship on foundlings. From this line of reasoning, petitioner is not qualified to apply for reacquisition of Filipino citizenship under RA 9225 for she is not a natural-born Filipino citizen to begin with. Even assuming arguendo that petitioner was a natural-born Filipino, she is deemed to have lost that status when she became a naturalized American citizen. According to El Amparo, natural-born citizenship must be continuous from birth. You will see this argument from time to time. Ito, petitioner is not qualified to apply for reacquisition because she was not a natural-born Filipino citizen to begin with. You see this argument a lot in REM kapag when it comes to periods. Parang hindi pwedeng mag-extend kasi nag-expire na. There is nothing to renew kasi nag-expire na. The way I remember this is parang wala, hindi naman naging kayo in the very first place. Kaya, ganon. Sige. Good evening, John Lord. Kamusta? Voida Benicio. Yes. For those of you joining the stream for the first time, please download the first 2 files. Yung handouts natin from last week, yung results ng ating digesting together, plus my notes, and Lamanzares. First argument natin. Sige. Ano arguments ni El Amparo? 1, in relation to citizenship, ha? Si El Amparo, sabi niya sa petition niya, Senator Grace po cannot be considered a natural-born Filipino because she was a foundling. And under international law, foundlings are not given natural-born status. Kahit na nag-reacquire siya ng Filipino citizenship, she was not a natural-born Filipino citizen to begin with. Yan. Yan ang first argument, ha? Please note. Now, how did Senator Grace po answer these arguments? Page 7. Page 7. Paano sinagot ni Senator Grace po? Paano sinagot? Anyone? Anyone? Paano sinagot ni Grace po? Anyone? Hello, Mary Abigail Modales. Please download the first 2 files. Yan ang inaaral natin today. Tonight. How did Senator Grace po counter? Yan. Yan, Divina Gracia. Thank you. Thank you. Buti naman bro at nabuksan mo na yung file. Sige. Hello, Miss Angeles. Foundlings are natural-born citizens. Pwede. Pwede, Miss Molina. Magandang laban yan. Sige, Audrey. Foundlings have the right and are considered as citizens of the place where they are found. Saan mo nakita yan, Audrey? Saan mo nakita yan? Yes, Jane, correct. Yan. When it comes to constitutional law cases, if there's one thing you will remember, actually, kung meron lang kayong isang matatandaan mula sa live stream na to, it is this. Pagdating sa Consti law cases, arguments, binabangga lang sa counter-arguments. Walang facts usually, walang magandang kwento, walang madodrawing na comics. Arguments lang. Pinagbabangga lang natin kung ano ang argument ng isang side sa counter-argument ng kabila. Yan at yan lang ang kailangang gawin pagdating sa constitutional law. I hope that's clear. If that's clear, please type yes. Parang matching type. Pwede. If that's clear, na pinagbabangga lang ang arguments, if that's clear to you, yung konsepto na yon, please type yes in the comments. In the live chat box. Huwag tayong masyadong nagpapalito sa dami ng facts. Sa laki ng kung yung condo nila ay may parking ba? O gaano kalaki yung bloody expensive lote sa bloody expensive neighborhood? Kailangan lang natin dito arguments, arguments. Pinagbabangga lang. I hope that's clear. Sige. Yun ang first petition. Si El Amparo, sinabi ni El Amparo. She was a natural-born citizen. She was not a natural-born citizen. Kasi foundling siya. Dahil hindi siya na natural born to begin with, yung reacquisition niya, invalid. Kasi she was not a natural born Filipino citizen to begin with. Walang pwedeng ma-extend kasi expired na. Sa simula pa lang, right from the very start, walang kayo na pwede mong ayusin. Okay. Counter-argument niya, deliberations ng 1934 Constitution. Second argument niya, foundlings are presumed under international law to have been born citizens of the place where they are found. Ang hirap sa ganito, kapatid. Pag tinignan mo lang, parang parehas naman sila ng argument. One is arguing yes and no, roughly using the same reasons. Sarap sana kung meron din silang mga basis, no? Pwede nating tignan. Anyway, yung El Amparo petition ended with the instant petition to deny due course or to cancel the certificate of candidacy is hereby granted. What's the effect? Kapag ang COC ay kinancel, deny due course or canceled, what's the practical effect? Can she run? Yes, no, maybe. Yes, no, maybe. Can she run? Yes, no, maybe. Invalid na ang COC. What's the effect? Looking for the effect. Can she run? Yes, no, maybe. Can she try again? Yes, no, maybe. No, she cannot run. That's the effect. And that's why she ran to the Supreme Court. Tumakbo siya sa Supreme Court magpaparescue siya. Yan ang kwentong natin. Now, let's look for the second petition. Second petition stems from 3 separate petitions filed by Francisco Tatad, Antonio Contreras, and Amado D. Valdez. So we have 3 people here who have to present their arguments at pagbabanggain natin sila. Kanino? Saan? Saan natin ibabangga yung mga arguments nila? Anyone? Kanoso? Sagot. You have, under the second petition, it's actually a consolidation of 3 separate petitions filed by Tatad, Contreras, and Valdez. They're going to present sa next few sentences, paragraphs ng ating decision. They're going to present 3 arguments. Tapos, pagbabanggain lang natin yung arguments nila. Pero kanino manggagaling yung arguments na yon? Yung pambangga. Yung pambangga, kanino manggagaling? Kanino manggagaling? Is it going to come from the COMELEC? Is it going to come from the Supreme Court? Kanino manggagaling? Kanino manggagaling yung counter-arguments? Are they going to argue against themselves? Is the COMELEC going to argue against the petitions? Kanino? Yes, correct. Kay Senator Grace Bo, siya kasi ang nag-file ng petisyon. Walang ibang panggagalingan yan. Wala tong katag team na ikaw sumagot. No. Cannot come from the SC because the Supreme Court does not argue. It declares. Yan ang muntik kong ikapalabas sa classroom. Kasi during my recitation, first year, first semester, first month sa law school, sabi ko, the Supreme Court argued that, wait, what did you say? Mr. Blah, blah, blah. Ma'am, I said that the Supreme Court argued that. No! Sabi niya, ang prof ko. No! The Supreme Court does not argue. The Supreme Court declares. Ay, creepy naman yung prof, bro. Creepy, oo. Kasi creepy yung prof. Pero, the Supreme Court declares. Yan. Sige. Ano muna tong arguments ng tatlo? Ni Tatad, Contreras, Valdez. Tatad theorized that since the Philippines adheres to the principles of jus sanguinis, persons of unknown parentage, particularly foundlings, cannot be considered natural-born Filipino citizens since blood relationship is determinative of natural-born status. Sounds logical, di ba? Bumunot si Tatad ng StatCon rule. What is not included is excluded. He said that foundlings were not expressly included in the categories of citizens in the 35 Constitution. Excuse me. And it's indicative of the framers' intent to exclude them. Sige. Gumamit din si Tatad ng international law argument. He says that international conventions and treaties are not self-executory and that local legislations are necessary in order to give effect to treaty obligations assumed by the Philippines. Sounds logical, di ba? Tapos, nag-recycle siya mula kay El Amparo. Petitioner cannot avail of the option to reacquire Philippine citizenship under RA 9225 because it only applies. I am now on page 12. I hope you're following along. It only applies to former natural-born citizens and petitioner was not as she was a foundling. Sige. Next, argument ni Valdez. Summarize natin ha. Arguments ni Tatad ay ito. Rule on StatCon. What is not included is excluded. That's one. Pangalawa, international conventions and treaties are not self-executory. Even assuming na parang ganito, even assuming na under international law, foundlings are considered natural-born citizens in any place where they may be found. Sabi niya, hindi self-executory ito. Meaning, for us to fully comply with this piece of international law, ay kailangan magkaroon ng House Bill, Senate Bill na magiging RAXXXX or the law that states that all foundlings are hereby declared natural-born citizens. Yan ang gustong sabihin ni Tatad. Second, katulad ng kay Elamparo, wala kang pwedeng balikan kung walang kayo right from the very start. Sige. I hope I'm making sense. Yes, no, maybe. Yes, no, maybe. Oh, scary daw. Oo, scary si Prof. She has been nominated several times as an associate justice. And I hope siya na yung next sa slot. Genuinely intelligent na tao. Matalino siya. And for whatever reason, ang tip sa amin ay attracted daw siya sa mga malalaking mama mahaba ang balbas. So lahat ng malaking mama sa klase, row 1 kami. At nag-alternate kami ng buhat ng mga gamit niya. Good evening, ma'am. So happy to see you. Mga ganon. Bubuhatin mo yung gamit niya mula pinto hanggang teacher's table. Tapos aliw na aliw siya sa mga malalaking mamang mahaba ang balbas. Okay. I hope she gets that associate justice. Oh. By process of elimination, alam na natin yan. Sige. Yan ang arguments ni Tatad. Let's go to Valdez. Valdez alleged that her, page 9 na tayo kapatid, alleged that her repatriation under 9225 did not bestow upon her the status of a natural-born citizen. He advanced the view that former natural-born citizens who are repatriated under the said act reacquire only their Philippine citizenship and will not revert to their original status as natural-born citizens. Parang, does it make sense to you? Medj. Yes, no, maybe. Parang humugot sa hangin. Sige. Pangatlo si Contreras. Contreras limited the attack to the residency issue. Wala siyang sinabi pagdating sa citizenship. So we can completely disregard si Contreras. Now, paano pinagbangga yung mga arguments? Paano niya binangga? I draw your attention to page 10. Page 10. Yes, are you on page 10? Paano sinagot ni Senator Grace po? Page 10 says, customary international law dictates that foundlings are entitled to a nationality and are presumed to be citizens of the country where they are found. Next na argument niya, as a natural-born citizen, she has every right to be repatriated under RA 9225 or the right to reacquire her natural-born status. Ito ang sagot niya. Kay itong unang paragraph, itong naka-label na fourth, yan ang sagot niya kay Tatad. Can everybody see this? Itong kinulayan ko ng blue. Yan ang sagot niya kay Tatad. Tapos, ito naman ang sagot niya kay El Amparo at sa recycle na argument ni Tatad. Yes, I hope I'm making sense. Minamatching type lang natin sila. Ito rin ang sagot niya kay Valdez. Kahit ipagduldulan ni Valdez na walang pwedeng ma-renew. Ito pa rin ang sagot ni Senator Grace po. Tapos, kay Contreras, we can assume na wala. Kasi nga, inilimit naman yung arguments niya. Nilimit niya yung arguments niya on the residency issue. Sige. Yan. Sige. Okay ba? Is it clear pa? Sa ating reading ng Paula Manzares. Is it clear? Yes, no, maybe. Saan tayo nalilito? Is it clear? Yes, no, maybe. Probably. Yes, no. Yes, no, maybe. Clear, clear as mud. Okay, so I'm going to give you time to write the second paragraph of your digest. Sa second paragraph, isusulat lang muna natin kung ano yung mga arguments. Arguments laban kay Grace po. Tas third paragraph, susulat natin yung counter arguments ni Senator Grace po. So, second, arguments. Tapos, third paragraph, counter-arguments. Remember, we're working on a word count ng around 300, maybe 400 words. Pagdating sa facts na to. Ang sarap sana na nasa classroom na lang tayo, no? Tapos, you are writing as we are discussing. Tapos, we can go around the class and I can check your work. Nakakamiss din palang face-to-face classes. If you miss face-to-face classes, please let me know by typing miss. Miss sa ating chat box. Sige. Few minutes to write your second and third paragraph. So everyone, anyone ready? Ready with their digests? Anyone who would like to share? Huwag niyong tinitignan yung sinulat ko. Could be wrong. Sa index cards ba? Hindi. Case digests sa law school, tatatlo yan. Una, yung case digest na kailangan ipasa. These are typically written sa yellow legal pad or sa long bond paper, legal size paper. Handwritten, at least during my time. Tapos they are hardbound by and submitted at the end of the semester. Sige. Usually 110 to 300 cases yan per subject. Option ng prof kung magpapadigest siya. Usually oo. Mas marami ang nagpapadigest during my time kesa sa hindi. Tapos a second na uri ng inyong case digest would be the digest for personal consumption. Sa akin pareho lang ang treatment ko niyan eh. Kung nagsulat ako ng digest na pang klase ko lang for personal consumption ko, pareho lang din nung itsura nung digest na isusulat ko ng kamay. Tapos ang pangatlo yung tinatawag na baby digest. Sila ang mga digest na binabaon sa school. Sila yung nasa 1/4 sheet of paper at marami ka nang maisusulat. I hope that answers that, Kevin. Oh, si Rain. Rain, tira. Ilang minutes po makadigest? Ang productivity ko noon ay nakakabasa ako ng around 4 cases per hour. Makakabasa at makakasulat ako ng 4 na kaso per hour. Sometimes there are longer cases kung saan makakadalawa lang ako per hour. Pero nakansan nakakabawi ako, nakaka-6 ako in 1 hour. Pati sulat kamay. So, on average, kapag nag-digest ako, usually ang productivity ko ay nasa 4. 4, magandang laban yan. Nag-heads up po ba ang prof sa beginning ng semester na magpapadigest siya? Yes, usually sa first meeting pa lang. Pag walang binanggit ng first 2 weeks, mag-viva na kayo. Yes, there's a format. And that varies from prof to prof. May mga iba, papasulat pa yung ponente, papasulat pa yung buong citation, GR number, date decided. So, ito yung mga digest na for personal consumption. Heto yung digest na para sa akin kung nabasa ko, nasulat ko, at ito ititira ko sa klase mamaya, mako-convince ko yung professor na aral ako, I read the full text. Let's not waste our time by dwelling too much on the issues. Sige. Ang baby digest for recit and for recit purposes siya usually. 1/4 sheet of paper, magtutupi ka, gagawin mong 4. Tapos, hindi sila full sentences. Phrases sila ang laman per line. Okay, sige, Jane, tuloy natin. And claimed that international law does not confer natural born status and Filipino citizenship on foundlings. Consti kaya. Kaya ang 4 per hour. Kasi you have to read with the purpose. Kung babasahin mo to straight from the top, wala. Malulunod ka sa facts. Malulunod ka sa number ng arguments nila. Kukunin mo lang yung meat ng argument nila. Tingnan nyo to. Sige. I'll discuss my work. Anong mali sa work ko? Ito, settled na tayo. Nabigay ko dito yung essential facts. Ito, what's wrong with the rest? What's wrong with the rest of my work? What's wrong with the rest of my work? What is wrong? What is wrong with the rest of my work? Come on, anyone? Okay, what's the danger of copying and pasting yung arguments nila as is where is? The danger is that your digest could turn out to be very long. Imagine ang hinahabol natin dito dapat 150, 300 words. For normal cases, anything na hindi consti, tama na ang 150 words sa facts. For consti and others, naku, minsan ang mga facts ko tagwa one sentence lang. Who filed the case? Why was the case filed? Nung basis. Tapos next paragraph, paano na lang din na-resolve? Lack of counter-argument. Are you sure? Sige, basa. What's wrong with this? What's wrong with this? What's wrong with this? Tingnan natin kung mahaba. Bilang tayo. Ang word count daw sabi ng word ay 199 words. What's wrong with this? I don't see the reason for COMELEC denying the due course and canceling. Bro, ito na yung reasons. Hindi kailangan i-discuss in full yung rulings ng lower courts. Kunwari, nandun yung RTC, denied, why, pwede. Tapos the CA, reversed, bakit yung reverse yan? Pero this is a Consti case, it's nuanced. I-discuss man natin not relevant sa citizenship. So what's wrong with this? No ruling of COMELEC. Are you sure, Kat? What's wrong with this? Tira. Too wordy. Pumasok ako sa word count natin na 300. This is 199 words. Come on, what's wrong with this? Kasi after nito, tapos na tayo. Mabilis na lang. Copy and pasting tayo pagdating sa ruling na Supreme Court. Pero what's wrong with my digest? Anyone? Wala pa tayo sa ruling. Wala pa tayo sa ruling. Wala pa tayo sa ruling. No need to discuss the merits ng COMELEC. Digest to. Siya, titignan natin yung... Buksan nga natin yung... Buksan natin ang ating mga handouts. Sige. Can you look at page 11? Page 11 of our handouts. Sa page 11, naglilista pa ng arguments si Grace po. Yes, no, maybe. Yes, no, maybe. Page 11, nagdi-discuss pa si Grace po. Yes, no, maybe. Come on. Yung pakita sa screen pero sige, buksan na natin. Page 11, ito tayo. Papakita pa ng argument. 6th, 7th, 8th. Tapos, in a resolution promulgated on ruled that petitioner is not a natural-born citizen, that she failed to complete the 10-year, not relevant for us. She committed material misrepresentation, not relevant for us. Resident of the Philippines for a period of 10 years, 11, not relevant for us. Okay. Sinabi lang niya, hindi sila natural-born citizen. Period. Ay, kama pala. Sige. Come on, what's wrong with this digest? There has to be something wrong with this. Dahil sinabi ko ba na ito, Constitutional Convention, meaning yung discussion, hindi yung mismong Constitution. So when you read later, you will find hindi siya sinulat sa mismong Constitution. Pero sa deliberation nila nandun. Kaya Constitutional Convention yung angkla. Oh, second paragraph. Malapit na tayo. What's wrong with the second paragraph? First paragraph, no need to include. So, didelete ko to ha. Parang ganito. If you were to recite tomorrow, yan ang bungad mo. Come on, OBS, refresh. Kung pag bukas pinag-recite ka, ang unang binanggit mo sa professor mo ay, sir, kasi si Estrella M. Amparo argued that Senator Po could not have been a natural-born citizen. Why would your recitation be wrong? Include. Sige, include pala. What's wrong with this? Come on, guys. There's something wrong with this. Sa convention nila pinagdebatihan kung gagawin pa ba natin ng specific na provision ito. What's wrong with this? What's wrong with this? Come on, guys. There's something wrong with this. Nasa second paragraph ang mali. Malapit na tayo. Nasa second paragraph ang mali. Nabanggit na ng ilan sa inyo kanina. Sabi nyo, the statement of the facts as is where is wordy. Masyadong mahaba. For me, it's wrong. Pwedeng i-summarize pa. Hindi. Kasi first argument here. Yan, hanggang dito, properly belongs to Amparo. Heto comes from petition number 2. Heto naman also comes from petition number 2. Ang tagal din palang mag-update ng OBS mula nung actual ko siyang kinulayan versus sa kung ano ang mapapanood nyo. May time delay din pala. Anong mali dun sa kudnat? Like, delete natin siya? Could have been a natural-born citizen? Sige. Eto na ang sagot. When you look at this, kapatid, they belong to in two separate arguments. Medyo mukha siyang wordy. When you look at it, parang isang buong tipak ng text. Mahirap sa readability yun. So what I'm going to do is to separate etong dalawa. Paghihiwalayin ko. Next paragraph na tong kay Tatad. Para mas madali sa mata, magaan sa mata. That is what's wrong with this digest. What was? Na-correct na natin. Paghihiwalayin natin kasi too wordy. Hirap maalala yung mga ganyan. When you write arguments, tip, you write the first name. Why? Why? Miss Domingo, ito na yun, the Comelec. Kung paano siya in-appreciate ng Comelec, ito na. Voted to deny due course. When you write Consti cases, bakit kailangan ng first name? Or more specifically, bakit kailangan full names? Bakit kailangan full names ang sinusulat natin pag sa arguments? Come on. For us not to be confused, pwede. Pero why? Why do we have to write them? To know where the argument came from, pwede. Something else. The reason why we have this stream tonight. Sige, wait lang. Hydration break, 15 seconds. Isipin nyo, why do we need first names? Easier to identify, pwede. Pwede. But why do I write first names? Kasi, I write the first names kasi arguments-based na to. Arguments-based pagdating sa constitutional law. And, it's very possible na sa ganitong paraan, naiiwasan ko na yung mga tanong na nanguhuli kung full text ang binasa ko o digest galing sa talahiban or somewhere from the internet. Your digests from the internet will not state Heto ang kanilang mga first names. Pero kapag ni-recite mo sa klase, kunwari sinagot ni Mr. Divina Gracia bukas, for the part, sir, of Estrella El Amparo, she argued that the senator could not have been a natural-born citizen because she was a foundling. First names, parang kapag sinabi mo na yung first name, parang you are selling to the professor na nagbasa po ako ng full text. Huwag na tayo maglokohan. Hayaan mo kung sumagot ng dire-diretso. Kasi kadalasan pag nagre-recite tayo, lalo pag consti cases, kapag magulo na ang arguments or hindi natin sila napagbabangga 1:1, kung paano sinagot ng petitioner, doon na dumadami yung mga tanong. Pagdating sa cream, write the first names din. Digest naman yan eh. Ano ba naman ng ilang segundo na isulat yung pangalan? I hope that helps yung pro tip na to pagdating sa recitation. I think I've mentioned this also sa handouts natin. Sige. Nuance pa ng Consti cases. Usually hindi sila dumadaan ng some other ng lower courts. But they are usually the result of some important petition decided by a lower court, pero more often quasi-judicial body. That's why you have that last paragraph. Yes, Mr. Canoso, this is correct. Pag dumadami na yung tanong, wala na. Natataranta na tayo. Hirap nang mag-recite. Kahit naaral ka, kahit na naaalala mo. Pero pag marami nang tinatanong, naku. Ang goal kasi natin pag nagre-recite is to recite so well that the professor will not interrupt us. I hope that's clear. Kapag dire-diretso ka lang nagsasalita at dire-diretsong tama ang mga sinasabi mo, you score more points. Kapag naghalongkat na si professor, ayan, doon tayo nagkakalabuan. I hope that's clear. Paki-type clear kung malinaw na bakit. Bakit binebenta natin yung idea na aral tayo. Yan, thank you. Thank you. Statement ng issue. Usually, tinatanong yan. What was the issue in this case? But for my digests, I usually do not write them. Lalo kapag baby digest, or for personal consumption. Given na kasing issue dito eh. Parang susulat ko pa ba whether or not Senator Grace po is qualified to run as president based on citizenship. Waste of my word count siya. But you can feel free to write. Sige. Let's go back to the case. Balikan lang natin yung case. Yung full text. Ito na. Resolution ng... Ayan. The issue before the COMELEC is whether or not the COC of petitioner should be denied. Page 12 tayo. Due course or cancelled on the exclusive ground that she made in the certificate a false material representation. The exclusivity of the ground should hedge in the discretion of the COMELEC and restrain it from going into the issue of the qualifications of the candidate for the position, as if in this case such issue is yet undecided or undetermined by the proper authority. Bakit sinulat ng Supreme Court to? Why is this very important sa page 12? Why? Why is this important? Yes, Daryl, you are correct. Kaya ang first step natin lagi pag nagbabasa ng case is to always contextualize. Saan siya naka-assign? For this case, marami pang pwedeng maungkat dito. Pero nilimit lang natin yung reading and understanding natin under citizenship. When you read in context, when you read based on your syllabus, pwede niyong laktawan yung maraming facts. Basta stick to the arguments that discuss citizenship. Parang ganun. Madam Monica asks, mamaya na sana ang AMA. Pero sige, full text mo po ba siyang nababasa? Yes. Don't worry if your productivity right now, lalo na pag Consti cases, is 1 case per hour or 1.5 cases per 2 hours. Don't worry kapag ganun yung productivity nyo. What I always tell you, kapatid, you'll get better at this. Hindi pumapatag ang bundok sa iyong pag-akyat. Lumalakas ka relative sa bundok. Sige, bakit importante na nilagay ito ng Supreme Court na nililimit yung delimitation on the exclusive ground of false material representation? Why? Why is this important? Basis of the decision. Pwede. Pero I'm looking for a more precise answer. Bakit nilagay ito ng Supreme Court? Very main issue. Pwede. Why is this important? And should restrain it from going into the issue of the qualifications, as if in this case, such issue is yet undecided, undetermined by the proper authority. The COMELEC cannot itself, in the same cancellation case, decide on the qualification or lack thereof of a candidate. Ba't niya sinulat to? To lead the readers to what issue matters most. Pwede. Bakit nilimit niya? Bakit nilimit na Supreme Court yung discussion? Sige. Paano ba? Who is single here? Type single. Type single. Kung ikaw ay single. Kung ikaw ay single, type single sa comments. Ay, sa chat box. Single, single. Oh, dalawa na lang. Lahat kayo may jowa na. Or asawa. Congratulations ha. Pipili na lang pala ako sa 2 tao. O yun, Divina Gracia. Single dahil nasa law school. Naku. Di ba Mr. Canosa, you are married with 2 children? Single, single. Take down fear. Bro, anong pangalan mo? So I can address you correctly. Pakitype nga. Happily single. Wow. Naku. Sige. Single. Single, single. Sige. Single, single. Okay, let's start with Mr. Lee Jansen. Assuming Miss Lee ay single, pero meron siyang hypothetical na girlfriend. At a certain point sa kanilang relationship ay meron silang malaking away. Say, kunwari, ang malaking away nila ay nangyari noong Pasko. Kung saan marami siyang nilalike na TikTok video ni someone else. Pwedeng classmate niya or kakilala niya. Puro siya like. As it turns out, si Lee ay nagkaroon pala ng inappropriate conversations with si office mate. It happened in January. And it was resolved in January. For the ladies na nag-type na single, inappropriate conversations sa kanyang messenger. Ito ba ay mga kaso na pwedeng patawarin o hindi? Paulo Contis, hindi ito. Hindi. For the ladies. Nagkaroon siya ng inappropriate conversation. Sige, palitan na lang natin yung facts. Sabihin na lang natin na nambabae si Mr. Lee noong January. Pero nagkapatawaran sila at maayos na. Okay? Magkaayos sila sa relationship niya. Ngayong siya ay mag-e-enroll na daw sa law school, ay lagi siyang walang oras kay hypothetical girlfriend. Lagi siyang walang oras. Let's say for the month of September ay minsan pa lang sila na nag-date, given na office mates naman sila at hindi sila work from home. Okay. Kung aawayin natin, kung tayo si girlfriend, kung aawayin natin si Lee, pwede ba nating erase ang issue ng kawalan ng oras? Yes, no, maybe. Kung aawayin natin si Lee, kung tayo si girlfriend, sounds gay, pero kung tayo si girlfriend, sige. Pwede ba natin siyang awayin sa kawalan ng oras? Yes, no, maybe. Sige. Maybe napaka-understanding naman ni Lemuel. Sige. Yes. Karamihan ng ating mga sagot ay yes. Aawayin siya. Pwedeng awayin si Lee dahil wala siyang oras. Next question. Can we now? Sana all maybe, no? Yan. Sige. Sa lahat ng sumagot ng yes. Hindi. For everyone na lang to. This is a question for everyone. Can we now raise the past issue? Hindi. Can we now raise the issue ng pambababae ni Lee? Inaway natin. Sige, inaway natin si Lee dahil sa kakulangan ng oras. Ang counter-argument niya ay, nasa law school po ako. Can we now raise the issue ng pambababae niya noong January? Yes, no, maybe. Sige, let's hear from Miss Domingo. Why not? Napakabuti mo naman kay Lee na hindi na pwedeng erase ang pambababae niya in January. Let's also hear from Madam Monica who says, yes, awayin si Lee dahil lang babae siya in January. Napatawad na natin. Can we now raise the argument? Sige, let's hear from the class. No, this is not a class. Let's hear from the stream. Miss Domingo says, no, ibang issue na to. Anyone who said yes? No, the fact that both agreed and may kapatawaran na nangyari from the past. No, because it was already settled. Resolved na before. Napakabait nyo naman. Ang babait nyo naman. Yes, because yung trauma can be triggered again and you have the basis that it happened before. So it's possible to have happened again, Char. Pwedeng mambabae pero may time pa din. Wow, creative. How do you split yourself into persons? Baka walang oras kasi nasa iba na yung oras. Lee. Therefore, yes. Yes. No, because both parties reconciled. Pero relevant yung issue ng time sa pambababae. Nice one, Kat. Good answer. Yes, for reference purpose. Na all multitasker. Yes. Okay, sige. When the Supreme Court limits the issue, katulad nito, it limits the issue sa material misrepresentation. Parang sa atin, sa case natin, hindi na uungkatin yung mga pagkakamali ni Lee. Kasi nga, sabi nyo, nagkapatawaran na. Let's move forward. Face one another. It's about time. Oh. Sige. Dahil nilagay ng Supreme Court to, nalilimit na yung issue at discussion doon. So, hindi pwedeng ungkatin yung qualifications ni Senator Grace po. Limited lang ang discussion sa material misrepresentation. In the same way na limited lang ang pwede nating pang-away kay Lee. Aawayin lang natin siya dahil wala siyang oras at kahit magka-opisina tayo, wala pa rin siyang oras. 'Di ba? Pero hindi na natin pwedeng ungkatin. Hindi na natin pwedeng ungkatin yung pambababae niya noong January. Maging aral ito sa iyo, Lee. Maging mabuting estudyante ka. Sige. Now, let's look at all of the arguments that pertain to citizenship. Ay, hindi pala arguments. Lahat ng declarations ng Supreme Court. Saan na ba ruling dito? Haba-haba naman ng discussion. First highlighted text. Acosta. Yun. Page 20. Can you open your handouts to page 20? Page 20. Sabi dito, Commissioner Arthur Lim admitted during oral arguments that at the time the petitioner was found in 1968, the majority of the population in Iloilo was Filipino. Etong paragraph na to talks about the statistical probability na si Senator Grace Poy sa Filipino. Wait lang. Eto. Have you found it? Yung discussion kung bakit na statistically probable na Filipino? Yes, no, maybe. Okay, type. Yes, no, maybe. Nandito na rin ba kayo? Ang first declaration as to the issue pagdating sa citizenship ni Senator Grace po bilang foundling nga. The statistical probability that any child born in the Philippines in that decade is a natural born Filipino was 99.83%. Is this a good argument? Stats. Statistically probable na Pinoy lahat ng bata doon. Well, almost. 99.83 eh. Is this a good argument? Yes, no, maybe. Convincing, 'di ba? Yung logic. Yes. Sige. Next paragraph. Oops, sorry. Next paragraph. Ano sinabi sa next paragraph? Other circumstantial evidence of the nationality of petitioner's parents are the fact that she was abandoned as an infant in a Roman Catholic church in Iloilo City. She also has typical Filipino features. Height, flat nasal bridge, straight black hair, almond-shaped eyes, and an oval face. Is that typical Pinoy? Does she look Pinoy to you? Does she look Pinoy? Tayo na normal na tao. Does she look Pinoy to you? Yes, no, maybe. Why does she look Pinoy to you? Sige, Cristel. Discuss. Oh, sige. Molina. Miss Molina. Why does she not look Pinoy to you? Why does she not look Pinoy to you? Does she look Pinoy? Does she look Pinoy to you? Di ba siya masyadong maputi para maging Pinoy? Yes. Yes. For the Supreme Court to declare, I'm not telling you that you should question every ruling ng Supreme Court. Pero let's just try and look at the logic here. Di ba siya masyadong maputi para maging Pinoy? Yes, no, maybe. Tapos flat nasal bridge. What does that mean? Flat nasal bridge. Flat nasal bridge. Command T Google. Anong ibig sabihin ng flat nasal bridge? Pango. Pango daw ang flat nasal bridge. Does she look pango to you? Yes, no, maybe. Does she look pango to you? Does she look pango? Yes, no, maybe. Yes. I would agree with most of you. Kasi kung para sa Supreme Court, si Senator Grace po ay pango, ay paano na lang tayo? The rest of us mere mortals. So ano na lang tayo? Kung flat nasal bridge pa ang tawag nila kay Senator Grace po. So ano tayo? Mga nostrils lang. Almond-shaped eyes. Almond-shaped eyes. Ano ibig sabihin yan? What does that mean? Hindi, sabi na Supreme Court, nostrils lang tayo. We are but mere nostrils. We have no noses. Kung siya na ang prototypical Pinoy, we're probably under Pinoy. If that makes sense. Almond-shaped eyes, let's discuss. What does that mean? Command T, Control T on Windows. Google. Almond-shaped eyes. Buglat. That sounds bastos. What's that? What's that? Almond-shaped eyes. Ang sagot ni Mr. Divina Gracia, buglat. That sounds really bastos. What's that? Malaki ang mata. Anong salita yan? Patulis ang dulo ng eyes. Yes. Anong salita ang buglat? Bilugan na mata. Okay, sige. How does the Supreme Court how did the Supreme Court settle this issue? Simulan natin dun sa una. Sabi ng Supreme Court, ito, napaka-importante. If there's one paragraph that you should write, ito na yun. Na, page 20. All of the foregoing evidence that a person with typical Filipino features is abandoned in a Catholic church in a municipality where the population of the Philippines is overwhelmingly Filipinos, such that there would be more than a 99% chance that a child born in the province would be a Filipino, would indicate more than ample probability, if not statistical certainty, that petitioner's parents are Filipinos. Yan. Kasi ang naging basis ng Supreme Court was probability ng mga batang pinanganak doon. Tapos, she has typical Filipino features. Height, flat nasal bridge, ahem, straight black hair, almond-shaped eyes, and an oval face. Ganun niya sinagot yon. Statistical probability. Second, na pagsagot ng Supreme Court. Ito, page 22. As a matter of law, foundlings are as a class natural-born citizens. Period. Ganon sinetel ng Supreme Court. So this is where you see that the Supreme Court does not argue, it declares. Sabi na niya, ang foundlings are as a class natural-born citizens. While the 1935 Constitution's enumeration is silent as to foundlings, there is no restrictive language which would definitely exclude foundlings either. Game basis nila ay yung deliberation. I hope you read this on your own. Maganda to. Ayan. We all know that sabi ng Solicitor General, we all know that the Raffles proposal was rejected. But note that what was declined was the proposal for a textual and explicit recognition of foundlings as Filipinos. And so the way to explain the constitutional silence is by saying that it was the view of Montinola and Rojas which prevailed, that there is no more need to expressly declare foundlings as Filipinos. The constitutional silence is fully explained in terms of linguistic efficiency and the avoidance of redundancy. The policy is clear. It is to recognize foundlings as a class as Filipinos under Article 4, Section 1 of the 35 Constitution. This inclusive policy is carried over into the 73 and 87 Constitution. It is appropriate to invoke a famous scholar as he was paraphrased by Chief Justice Fernando. The Constitution is not silently silent. It is silently vocal. Diba? Sapat na ba to? Is this enough for us to start writing our digest? Or should we continue reading? Continue or write? If you think we should continue reading, write continue in the chat box. Oh, sulat na daw si Rain. Pwede na daw yan. Nasagot ba yung both arguments? Parang wala pang mention ng international law. Meron na. Kag, ano ang pangalan mo? Kag TV. What's your name, bro? How can I address you? Okay. Let's continue reading. Parang wala na, no? Ito, generally accepted principles of international law by virtue of the incorporation clause of the Constitution form part of the laws of the land even if they do not derive from treaty obligations. Generally accepted principles of international law include international custom as evidence of a general practice accepted as law and general principles of law recognized by civilized nations. Yan ang sagot nila pagdating sa international law. Arguments ni... Kanino argument yon? Kanino argument yung humugot sa international law? Kanino? Was it El Amparo, Tatad, Valdez, Contreras? Kanino? Tatad? Kanino argument yun? El Amparo, Tatad, Valdez, Contreras. Wala. Kay Tatad. In Bengson III versus H. Ret, this court pointed out that there are only two types of citizens under the 87 Constitution. You have the natural-born citizen and naturalized. That there is no third category for repatriated citizens. Sige. Oh, on residence na to. Tapos na ang arguments ng Supreme Court. Balikan lang natin 1 statistical probability, 2 typical Pinoy features. Tapos, anong pangatlo? Yung silently silent. When the Constitution is silent, it is silently vocal. Sige. Ito. Tapos, arguments under the 35 Constitution. Tapos, ito sa international law. Dito din sinagot. And finally, the 3 classes. There is no third class for repatriated citizens. Okay. Kagawad Francis of Tondo, Manila. Shoutout din daw sa UDM Law School classmates niya. Sige. Oh, sinagot na lahat ng Supreme Court ang arguments nila. Should we now start writing? I'm gonna give you a few minutes to write your... No, a minute to write your last part ng ating digest. And that would be the ruling of the Supreme Court. Sulat, sulat, sulat. Sulat, tapos let's compare. When you write your rulings pala, another tip I can share with you tonight is that always write with the intention na pagdating sa rulings, nasabi ko na to sa handouts, feel free to copy and paste. There is no substitute to the precise language of the Supreme Court. Pagdating sa rulings, we are, as of this moment, learners of the law. Wala tayo dito to legislate. Sige. Let's write. I'm going to share with you this. Aking ending ng case. Nabanggit ko na to sa handouts. I usually begin my rulings by saying the Supreme Court speaking through, sino ponente nito? Justice. Sino ponente? Haba si Justice Perez. Sa aking Justice Perez, teaches us that copy and paste na lang to. Madali na lang to. Kaya na natin to. Next na ilalagay ko. Ito, very important paragraph na to. Next na ilalagay ko. Ito, ang pinansagot nila kay Elamparo/Tatad. Next paragraph ko yan. Okay. Let's add more. Probably add this. This is a good argument. Kasi it touches on international law. Ito lang din ang pagsagot nila. Kasi nandito yung incorporation clause. Okay. Let's do one more argument that rounds out the discussion. Parang wala na. Ito. This is important. There is no category. Sige, anyone ready with their digests? Tas let's discuss. Mahirap din pala pag itong discussion ng stream at may activity tayo that we share side by side. Parang mahirap din pala na gumagawa ko ng digest with the expectation na kayo rin wherever you are, wherever you're watching from, phone, tablet, laptop, desktop, or whether you're watching this from Bulacan, from Zamboanga, from Davao, wherever you are and you're reading this and you're watching this, there is something of an expectation from me that I am not alone, that I am actually doing this activity side by side with you. Na on some level, we're doing this together. Kaya lang hindi ko makita gawa nyo. There's no way for me to check if you're actually doing the work o you're just listening in. So, for the sake of tiwala reasons, can you type writing sa ating chat box kung legit kayo nagsusulat? Oh, for the three of you who are actually writing, can you share what you've written so far? For the three of you who are actually writing. Miss Molina. Miss Molina, nag-register ka pala sa Mac class? No. So see you Sunday. Yes, no, maybe. Nag-register ka pala. Yes. Sige, see you Sunday. Nako, na-share ko na sa'yo paano ako mag-digest. Na-share ko na din kung ano mga binabala ko sa recitation. So I expect more from you. So much more from you this Sunday. Hehe. Sige. Let's share what you've written. Hindi ito yung typical na digest. Kung saan nandun pa yung no, comma, the Supreme Court ruled, no, comma, the Supreme Court ruled that Senator Grace Poe was, should be allowed. Oh. Kasi when you look at this is not your prototypical format eh. Dami pang pinapalagay ng mga prof. Gusto nila ganito, meron kang facts, colon, bold. Susulat ka pa ng isang issue. Mga ganyan. Number 1, whether or not the COMELEC correctly gave due course to the petition for the cancellation. Petitions for the cancellation, the certificate candidacy Tor Grace po. Tapos lalagyan mo siya ng ganito. Naglagay ka ng issues na ganyan, lalagyan mo pa siya ng rolling colon. Yan. Yan ang mga format namin nung time namin. Pag maarte ang prof, lalagay mo pa yung citation. Pero for our purposes, lalo na kung hindi naman ipapasa, you can do away with this. Dinadagdag mo lang yan sa iyong mga tinatype. Pwede mo na kasi itong laktawan eh. Alam mo naman natin ang issue dito. Whether or not qualified lang tumakbo. Senator Grace Poe. Sige. See, joining all the way from Dinagat Islands. Salamat. Nagsusulat ka somewhere in Dinagat Islands. There's someone else who's writing the same case digest as I am. So, thank you. So let's look at the ruling. Paano ko sinulat yung ruling? Ito. Dito muna ang tingin, kapatid. I always begin my ruling paragraph, portion, section ng aking digest with this. And I think I've stated this sa handouts natin. For those of you who joined late, dalawa ang da-download na file. Number 1 would be kung ano yung inaaral natin ngayon, Paula Manzares. I've highlighted it. Parehas tayo nang nakikita ng highlights. Yan ang pagkaka-highlight namin sa kaso when we discussed it last Friday. Tas the second file is a sample of a case digest plus my comments on what should you write. What should it contain? The questions it should answer. Sige. I begin my ruling section with this. Kasi low-key ko nasasabi sino ponente without having to, write the ponente. Yan. Teaches us that a person. Baka wala na tong pangalawang that. Redundante. Dagdag mo pa sa word count. A person with typical Filipino features is abandoned in a Catholic. Dadagdag ko to. In a Catholic church in a municipality where the population of the Philippines is overwhelmingly Filipinos, such that there would be more than a 99% chance that a child born in the province would be a Filipino, would indicate more than ample probability, if not statistical certainty, that petitioner's parents are Filipinos. As a matter of law, foundlings are as a class. Pwede rin natin ilagay dito yung discussion ng bakit. Nag-i-add natin yung prototypical Pinoy features daw ng Supreme Court. Let's look for that. Lagay natin to. Kasi baka itanong to eh. Baka itanong to. Although we disagree. Dahil sa skin tone niya at sa kanyang flat nasal bridge daw. Then you have this paragraph. As a matter of law, foundlings are as a class natural-born citizens. Sinasagot na niya dito yung argument ni Tatad na bumunot sa StatCon. There is no exclusion for foundlings. The constitutional silence is fully explained in terms of linguistic efficiency and the avoidance of redundancy. Our Constitution has been constantly criticized for being too verbose, for having too many words, for being too long. Buti naman at naisip nilang hindi ito ilagay. Pero malas kasi kung sanang nilagay na lang nila yon, ay hindi na sana natin pinag-uusapan ito. Tapos sana ang discussion doon pa lang. Now, we have this paragraph which discusses the international law arguments. They're deemed self-executory by implication because generally accepted principles of international law include international custom as evidence of a general practice accepted as law and general principles of law recognized by civilized nations. This small paragraph here answers the argument against Kanino nga ba? Sino yung nag-point out? Si Valdez. Oo. Sige. What's wrong with the ruling? Anong mali dito? Anong mali sa digest? What's wrong with my digest? May mali dito. What's wrong? Bakit mali ang aking digest? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong with my digest? Tell me I'm wrong. Come on, what's wrong? Nung mali dito. Anong mali dito? I see two things wrong here. No need na daw ang last paragraph. I would disagree kasi this is the only paragraph that directly answers the argument of Amado Valdez. So, need siya. Pwede siyang skip, oo. Pwedeng hindi na siya banggitin sa klase kung hindi rin hinihimay ni Prof. Kung ano yung mga arguments. Kasi ang main lang naman dito kay Alamparo tsaka kay Tatad. Pero need tong pangatlo kasi binuksan natin yung argument ni what's his face? Amado Valdez. Okay. What else? I see two things wrong here. No conclusion po. Yung ending clause po wala pa. Yung paragraph na with mentioned si SE should be the last po. No, that should not be it. Hindi siya pwedeng last. Kung ilalast mo yon, parang disjointed siya. Start with the Supreme Court speaking through Justice Perez, low-key way of mentioning the ponente. Teaches us that. Tas yung main, the one paragraph where the Supreme Court is trying to teach us something. No need na yung paragraph about physical features ni Grace po. Pwede. Pwedeng wala na to. Pwede na tong laktawan. Pero ilalagay ko. Kasi this is something else na enumeration na hindi ko kailangan sa uluhin. If that makes sense. Kasi pag sinagot mo to, kunwari, Mr. Divina Gracia, what is the Supreme Court trying to teach us here? Sir, the Supreme Court is trying to teach us that there would be more than an ample probability, if not statistical certainty, blah, 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 that Senator Grace po is a Filipino. Why? Why did the Supreme Court say that? Sabihin mo yung stats. Who is a prototypical Filipino? This answers that. Typical Filipino features. Height, flat nasal bridge, ehem sa aming mga puro nostrils lang. Straight black hair, buglat eyes, which sounds bastos, and an oval face. That's why you need that. Okay. Sakali lang na itanong yan. Something else na hindi mo na kailangan i-memorize. What's wrong with this digest? Nabanggit na kanina, walang conclusion. Sige, lagyan natin ng conclusion. Ano ba ang conclusion natin dito? Usually ako hindi ako naglalagay ng conclusion. Lalo kapag hindi naman ipapasa. Kasi alam na natin yung ending eh. Pero it's useful to add this kapag nasa 30 to 35 cases, 40 cases, 50 cases per meeting na para alam natin who won. For these reasons, the Supreme Court annulled and set aside the petitions for the cancellation of the certificate of candidacy of Senator Grace Poe. Ganyan natin ng therefore Senator Grace Poe is qualified to run as president in the 2016 elections. Sige, may ending na tayo. Happy ka ba? Happy na tayo? May ending clause na. Nasabi na rin natin. Total word count natin is 469. Edge mahaba. Consti to eh. For something na 912 pages, na uwi lang natin siya in a page and a half. Parang happy na dapat tayo, no? Yes, no, maybe. Wala daw ending. Happy na ba tayo? Yes, no, maybe. I see one more thing wrong sa atin. One more thing wrong here. Can anyone point it out? Ang clue natin makikita dun sa handouts kung saan diniscuss ko yung People versus Hinosa. Hindi natin masasabi na na constitution pa rin ang naging basehan. Ginamit ang constitution dito to delineate yung powers nila. Powers to decide. That's not relevant to us. Ang hinahanap lang natin dito is all about citizenship. Anong mali? Anong kulang? We can join down the paragraph. In the paragraph that starts as a matter of law, ... Check. Hindi. Anong mali? Ang clue nandun sa Hinosa handouts. Come on, may mali dito. Di pa tayo dapat happy? Something, come on. Wala. Ano to? Ito na yung moment na, paano ba? Crickets na to. Crickets, tumbleweeds, lonely voice in the desert. There's something wrong I did here. And it's this. Let me point it out. Diba? When we copy and paste the rulings of the Supreme Court, they should always be copied. What's the rule? What's the rule? Pag nagka-copy-paste tayo ng ruling ng Supreme Court, what's the rule? What's the rule? Kapag nagka-copy-paste na tayo for the rulings, quotation marks. Pwede. Pero hindi eh. Kung i-quote marks ko to, quote marks ko na lahat. Personal consumption ko to. Meron na. Yan! Very good. Is Angeles. Should always be written in a sequential order. Very good. Very good. Sequential order. Very good. Very nice. Alin dito ang wala sa sequential order? So, alin dyan? Alin dyan? Saan ang major mistake dito? Saan? Can anyone point it out? Hanapin nyo, 15 seconds, hydration break. Second line, nasa features daw. Yes, you guys would be correct. Teka ha, edit ko. Kasi ito, appears, ito ang pangatlong importanteng point lang ng sinabi ng Supreme Court pagdating sa, ito. Yan. Ito. Yan ay importante. Pero pangatlo lang niyang sinabi pagdating sa ruling. So we can delete that. No, we're going to cut that. Teaches us that parang mali. Sounds wrong, di ba? The Supreme Court speaking through Justice Perez teaches us that she also parang mali. Let's add the name na lang. Senator Grace po. Has typical Filipino features. Tama. Yan. So we can remove the highlight. Tapos we can paste yung entire paragraph. It declared. It meaning Supreme Court pa rin. It declared that, a person with typical Filipino features. Blah, 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 blah. Yan. Naging controversial itong case na to dahil sa phrase na to. Dahil sa sentence na to. Na she has typical Filipino features. Maraming umalma doon during the time that this case happened. Kahit saan. May debate about this. Pero it's the Supreme Court's ruling eh. Yan. Tapos, typical Filipino features is abandoned in a Catholic church in a municipality. Sounds good. Yan. Sige. Now would be a time. Now would be the time para masabi ko na happy na rin ako sa digest na to. Sige. Okay. Diba? Daryl, you would be correct. Kaya una ko siyang ginanon. Kasi mas solid yung unang argument. You lead with that. Lead with your strongest arguments. Palitan natin itong teaches us. Gawin natin ng declared. That. Yan. Pwedeng wala na nga to eh. Pero nandito to as supporting this. Daryl, you would be correct. Kaso ganun nilatag ng Supreme Court. As of this moment, we're not justices. We are, for all intents and purposes, mere learners of the law. If you were going to use this in a pleading, start with this. Wag to. Pangalawa mo to. Lalagyan mo na lang ng further, the Supreme Court discussed that. Shoot mo to. You lead with this, and then second ito. Okay. I hope that's clear. I hope clear yung process on the detailed guide on how to digest Consti cases. Nakaangkla lagi tayo pagdating sa Consti cases, sa arguments. Facts ko, konti ang facts na meron. Unless it's an awfully controversial case like this one. I hope it's clear. Paki-type clear kung clear yung process sa inyo. Oh, sayang bro. Kasi ang mock class, ini-schedule ko ng Sunday. Naalay ko ang aking Sunday para sa inyo. Para mahagip din yung mga working. Clear. Thank you. With that being said, I'm now opening the floor for questions pagdating sa digest. Let's limit the questions to digests. Mga tanong ng digest na pwede ko nang sagutin ngayon. I'll give you a few seconds to start your questions while I recap the process. Step 1, consult the syllabus. Check kung saan siya inassign. Step 2, read the dispositive portion. Read how the case ended. Pag ganun, mako-contextualize na natin. We read with the intention of finding out any arguments about citizenship and why the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Senator Grace po. Yan. Kasi alam na natin yung dalawang yun eh. And then we comb through the facts. We look for paragraphs that are relevant, not relevant. Tapos, since this is a constitutional law case, magbibigay tayo ng leeway for more words. Mahaba-haba silang sulatin. Sige. Tapos, pagdating sa arguments, identify who made the argument and where. Tapos, look for the counter arguments. Matching type. Tignan natin saan bumabangga. And then finally, copy and paste the ruling of the Supreme Court or whatever it is the Supreme Court is trying to teach us. Sige. Pareho ba ang case digest process sa jurisprudence of all law subjects? No. Yung general rule, yung sa civil law cases, yun yung nilagay ko sa handouts For those of you who haven't downloaded it yet, nandun siya sa description box. Mahanap nyo doon lahat ng yung sample case digest from last Tuesday's stream, tapos pointers. What should be included and what should be excluded. Civil law cases sila ang general rule. Exceptions, kapag political law, ganito ang laban. Pag binagbabangga ang arguments. Kapag naman criminal law cases, ang hinahanap natin dito yung sa facts, yung murder weapon, extent of the injuries. Sa torts, injuries din. Nature and extent of the injuries, very important pagdating sa facts. Is an issue equivalent to an argument? No. An issue is the question that needs to be resolved in every case. Arguments are the different positions. When you have two or more arguments presented by two opposing parties, in this case, si Senator Grace po na gustong humabol as president versus the COMELEC, who has the power to rule on the qualifications of a candidate. Two different positions sila. Gusto kong humabol, bawal kang humabol kasi hindi ka citizen. Ang issue dito, whether or not tama ang pagbawalan si Senator Grace po. I hope that makes sense. Arguments are positions, issues are questions. Okay, other questions? One more thing I would like to point out. Kapag meron na kayong ganitong digest na hindi nyo naman din-download sa talahib or somewhere from the internet, you actually read the case and wrote it down like this. At ito ang inaral nyo sa klase. And when you're called to recite the case, ganito nyo siyang nilatag. Exactly like this. Sinabi nyo lang saan siya napulot, sino nakapulot sa kanya, sino nag-adapt sa kanya, at bakit tayo may kaso. Ito, in 2015, she filed her certificate of candidacy. Tapos you have your arguments, counter-arguments. Tapos the ruling of the Supreme Court. When you have this and you lay them down like that, as is where is, it tells your professor that you've prepared for class. Na hindi ka humugot ng kung kaninong digest anywhere from the internet. It shows that you've read the case, the full text of the case. It convinces your professor that you've prepared for class. Yan lang naman ang hinahanap ng mga professor bago tayo gradean. They want us to know, they want to check if we've prepared for class. Kung mukhang ready ka, aral ka, no need to waste the time of the class, the time and attention of the class. Let's move on to another person. With that, kung ito ang malalatag mo ng ganito, GG na, sa'yo na ang grade. I hope that helps. Sige, another question. Which facts we should include sa case brief? Our law professors keen on the arguments to be included if they're not discussed in the ruling. I would like to point you out to the earlier stream on how to read and study cases. It's a different process where I show in detail how to filter out what's important, what's not important, what's relevant, what's not relevant, what should be remembered for recitation purposes, and what should be written down pagdating sa digest. I hope mapanood mo rin yun. Kasi we comb through this case on a per paragraph basis. If there's one lesson from that stream, it's this. Pwedeng makatipid ng oras sa basa kung tama kang magbasa. Hope that makes sense. Okay, paano natatapos ang 4 Consti cases in 1 hour? Hindi... Apat na Consti cases in 1 hour does not mean na nakakaapat ako per hour. It means that on a span of say ng 2 hours, in which case merong magkakasunod na maiiksing kaso na kaya ng 6 per hour. Tapos meron 2 na mamaw tulad nito. Paula Manzares, yung talagang kailangan mong basahin at upuan. Pag ganun, nagtatabla, works out as 4. Pati sulat. Don't worry if you feel like you're slow right now. Kasi everybody starts slow. This is why you should find some way to measure your progress, to monitor your work. Kasi ako at that time, parang I had a small obsession with analytics. What was the best use of my time? Lagi kong tinatanong yan. What's the best use of my time? Time was and still is, my most precious resource. When you give your time to someone else, walang balikan yan. Hindi yan babalik sa'yo. Pag giniftan ka ng pera or some other material possession, kayang-kayang kitain yan ulit. Pero time, once you spend it, it's yours. Walang balikan. Don't worry if you need an hour, maybe 2 hours to go over this case. Kapatid, you're on your first year, first semester. Lahat tayo nagsisimula na ganyan. Eventually, by the time you get to admin law, second year, third year, wala na yan. GG ang mga yan. Tax 1, mabilisan na lang yan. Hinahataw na yung mga ganyang kaso. Doon ka tatama ng 5 per hour, 6 per hour na productivity. Tas sisingitan ng malalaki. Kaya nag-average ka ng 4 per hour. In an actual class, I hope that answers your question, Winnie. Kakayanin mo rin yan. Pag naka-4 ka na in an hour, papalakpakan mo yung sarili mo. That's when you say, you have arrived. Okay. Hope that answers your question. Next. Do professors give room for students to voice out different perspectives or disagreements with the ruling? Yes, no. It depends. Kasi may mga professor na constitutionalist who hold the Constitution above all else. Way on a much higher level than the Supreme Court justices. These are the professors who typically criticize the rulings of the Supreme Court in a purely academic context. Kapag ganun, magtatanong sila ng opinion. Sometimes in other classes, tumatawid ang mga controversial issues. Off the top of my head, siguro may isip ko yung kay Chief Justice Sereno. I'm sure pinagdebatihan yan kahit hindi sa subject nila. Ito, itong Paula Manzares, pinagdebatihan yan. Basta mukhang Pinoy, Pinoy na daw. Parang reduktio ad absurdo. Yun ang counter dito sa ruling ng Supreme Court dito. But I'm not here to criticize the Supreme Court for you. I'm just telling you that from time to time, you will be asked to present a contrary opinion. Hope that answers that, Daryl. Sige, do you memorize ano nangyari sa mga cases? Yes and no. Pagdating sa criminal law cases, I remember them better if I draw thumbnail sketches sa kanila. Side nila. Siguro, I will point you out to the stream ng last Tuesday kung saan pinakita ko na rin yung process kung paano ko mas naaalala yung events na nangyayari by drawing small sketches sa margins. That's how I best remember what happens in a case. Okay. Hope that answers that. Mas madaling makaalala para sa akin pag nadodrawing ko kasi. Let's take another question. Ano ibig sabihin ng division? Tapos en banc. Kanoso, ikaw nga sumagot nito. Sisibro ka na rin. Nabuhayan si Mr. Canoso. Sagutin na niya yan. Division, tas en banc. Pag ang bungad ng isang kaso ay division, it means the case was decided by a portion of the court. Usually odd number sila. Yan. Division kapag odd number of justices will hear a particular case. Kung nagkasundo sila, meaning the vote is split ng 2-1, 3-2, 4-1, ganyan, 4-1, or 5-0, then the case ends there. Kapag hindi, iaakyat ng en banc. En banc means silang lahat. All of them actually sit down to do something together. I hope that answers that, Monica. Do you also read the dissenting opinions? Of course. May mga professor tayong mga traidor, taksil. At minsan magpapaquiz tapos doon nanggagaling ang mga tanong. Yes, I read dissenting opinions. Pero ang focus ko na lang doon is only on the ruling. Saan sila lumalayo o nagkakaiba ng pananaw in relation to the entirety ng saan sila lumalayo in relation from the majority. Sige, hope that answers that question. Very good question. Maraming salamat, Rain. I think it's your first time here sa pagdating sa live stream, so thank you. Footnotes, yes. Maraming traidor na tanong pagdating sa footnotes. Nadala na kami dyan. Marami nang na-scam dyan. Ang mga hindi nagbabasa ng footnotes. Kasi madalas din paghugutan niya ng mga tanong. Depends. Hello, sound check, hello. Am I still... Nag-quit ang aking OBS. Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me? Parang nag-quit yung OBS. Yes, okay. Kala ko lilipat pa tayo eh. Tatapos na lang. Anyway, rulings ng lower court, should we add them? Yes. Yes, kapag pivotal, meaning the Supreme Court actually uses the conclusion of the regional trial court kung ganun siya ka-importante. Pero kung ipo-point out na Supreme Court na mali ang CA, then you should find some way to incorporate that na mali nga ang CA. Hope that makes sense. Generally, no. Yes, kapag useful. Yes, kapag ginamit siya ng Supreme Court in any way. Civ Pro and Crim Pro, it depends. Procedurally, hinga muna ng malalim kasi usapang rem to. I need to restrain myself. Kasi kapatid, kapag usapang rem, nagsimula na akong rem, naku, umagahin tayo. I cannot shut up about remedial law. Okay. So I'm gonna say this. Sa Civ Pro and Crim Pro, material ang rulings ng lower court. Yes, you are correct. They are material in the sense that when they commit procedural mistakes or when they make procedural lapses. Substantive. Pagdating sa mismong argument, merits of the case, minsan hindi eh. Pero kapag procedurally, meron silang malaking boo-boo moment, you'll have to add that. That has to form part of your discussion. Sige. Nadia, any other questions? Alright kapatid, maraming salamat. If there are no more questions, I am very happy that you've spent the last few hours with me. Ay, meron pa. May pahabol ba? Favorite ko, labor and rem. Kasi even as a law student, I made my living from labor law. Rem, naging super passionate about, I got really passionate about remedial law. Kasi you'll fall in love with remedial law. Love it or hate na subject kasi yun eh. Like right now, I have to restrain myself. If we start discussing REM now, umagahin tayo. I can't shut up about REM. I like it so much. Hehe. I feel like I have a lot to contribute pagdating sa REM. Okay, versus law subject, you found you were really good but not really interested. I think I got good in tax. I got good in civil law. Am I interested in them? Yes. Tax, really. Actually, ang interest ko sa tax is not tax itself but making tax easy for everyone. Hope that answers that, Daryl. Nako, nagpahabol ka pa. Bernas, I do not recommend Bernas anymore pagdating sa constitutional law. He has extremely good inputs because he was part of the people of the group that made the Constitution. Unique ang discussion niya kasi insider view. Kaya rin napapahaba. Pero, not recommended because it's old, it's outdated, so much has happened. Unless you're guided by a really strong syllabus from a really good professor. So, my recommendation, pass na tayo. Nice to read lang siya as a supplement or kapag may hindi tayo naiintindihan. Prelo, I finished Bachiller ng Sining. Agham Pampolitika from the Universidad ng Pilipinas - Maynila. Sige, maraming salamat. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for spending the last 3 hours with me. And thank you for being here. See you all next week. Good night.